welcome to the first online Kashmir festival organized by Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora in association with I Am Buddha. Today we are having a panel discussion on activism as an agent of change. This panel discussion will be broadly based discussing the how activism is an agent of change, but particularly will focus on our community, Kashmiri Pandits community, and how activism has benefited it. What are the shortfalls and how we can improve our efforts. And as we were discussing just before, that some people are ahead of us in the game. And what are the future trends? We will discuss about all that. Our struggle is to reclaim our motherland. It goes without any question. Our struggle is to reclaim our legal rights under the Constitution of India. And while the whole community is asking for it, but it's always a handful who take it upon themselves. And, regardless of anybody supporting them or regardless of any obstacles, they keep going. And right now we have a distinguished panel here. And it's a pleasure to introduce this panel who are in this activism for our community for a long time. And they are, they have not given up. Let me first introduce to you Ms. Krishna Bhan. She is an educationist by profession. She has been living in UK for a long time now and had played many roles in education, including managing the departmental teams of workforce. She has been committed to serve the community in the UK and elsewhere since 1990. And she has been highlighting our plight of the displaced KP community in Jammu and Kashmir and in India. Her aim, desire, and determination is to go back to her roots, that's Kashmir, and to see our community, family members settled safely and honorably in the valley. I think Ms. Krishna Bhan is feeling enthusiastic after the revocation of Article 370. And she feels that, government has got some intentions now, and she feels hopeful that now our return is possible. A lot of developmental initiatives in J&K are taking place, and the process seems to be hastening now. With me, the second panelist, welcome Krishna ji, and I would request you to take the chair for this panel. I would request you to after everybody has spoken, to give a message to GKPD, how our activism can help the community after the discussion from this panel. Mr. Chandan Kotwal. Mr. Kotwal lives in UK and he works as a psychiatrist specializing in elderly psychiatry. Basically from Vanpo in Anantnag, they also own a house in Karanagar. Just like all the community brethren, his dream is also to work towards reclaiming our lost homeland and resettling in Kashmir. Since Government of India has paved the way after removal of Article 370 and started the domicile process, this has given him immense hope for our return to our lands. I would like to see us all he would like us to see, as he has discussed, a roadmap back to Kashmir. He also feels that the situation is gradually improving and Government of India is now serious about charting a roadmap for us going back. And he feels that we should not limit ourselves to only option one. We should always have option B, and so that we are flexible in our approach for our return. Ms. Pooja Ganju is an accomplished MBA personnel with 15 years of experience in global human resource management, talent management. She's a people and culture leader with specialization in creating workforce solutions, developing corporate strategies, and building high-performance teams across geographies. And she has been recognized for contributions for excellence at North American podiums. Speaker. She is a speaker, coach, and mentor. In addition to all, she's a proud Kashmiri Pandit. And she's president of Kashmiri Overseas Association of Canada, KOAC. So welcome, Pooja ji. There are many more laurels to you, but I will just ask you to speak about it. We are just joined by Mr. R.K. Bhat, Ram Avatar ji. He is known as Ram Avatar ji. And let me give you his introduction. Mr. Ram Avatar Bhat is recipient of Rashtriya Ratan Award, Rajiv Gandhi Shiromani Award from Citizens Integration Peace Society and National Integration and Economic Council by Her Excellency Srimati Pratibha Patil for meritorious services to society. He is born in village Virinder and brought up and nourished in Jammu after his displacement from his motherland, Kashmir Valley. At present, he is living in exile in Jammu. Mr. R.K. Bhat is the youngest hardcore activist of KP community working for the betterment of society in general and for his displaced community in particular. He is a social activist by nature and a medical expert by profession. He is the founder, initiator, and CEO of Vitasta Medical Mission Hospital, Jammu. Earlier, he was associated with a corporate hospital in New Delhi, left it behind, and came back to Jammu to serve his motherland and struggled to go back to his roots. He is the president of Youth All India Kashmiri Samaj, a frontal young organization of displaced Kashmiris whose aim is to reconnect their roots and identity. He is heading the PM's return, Prime Minister's return and rehabilitation package of Kashmiri Pandits in terms of survival. He has succeeded so far to send 4,000 Kashmiri Pandits youth back to Valley with jobs and has geared up another 15,000 youth to return to Valley once they are offered rehabilitation in Kashmir for the national interest. He is also founder of Devasthan Prabandhak Committee, Virinder, looking for the protection, preservation, and restoration of the historical shrines of South Kashmir. So, welcome, Ram Avatar ji. Broadly, Krishna ji, I would request that we should have a discussion as we had already last time planned that let everybody give his definition of what is activism for you, because I have seen that this activism has a different meaning and a different connotation for every one of us. We all define it in our own way. So please tell us how you see activism in your life and any favorite episode that you would like to share with us.
Sure.
Then challenges and opportunities in activism in the present world. We are going through a COVID scenario, and where physical activism is challenging. But we have found ways and means. Even our Prime Minister has found his own ways to reach out to the millions of masses. So we are also doing, this is the first online global Kashmiri festival. So activism cannot be stopped by any obstacles. So what are the challenges and opportunities? How activism will impact the destiny of our community, and what are the future trends in activism? Keeping in view this impact of social media, I think in US you have already seen Black Lives Matter. I think it was one of the most transformational activism campaign in the social media history. Me Too was again another one. So based on these experiences, how do you see now whether we really need to have feet on the ground, or whether online activism is going to be an equivalent or maybe a better alternative? So, Krishna ji, who would like to speak first?
I don't mind. Who would like to speak first? Anybody? Shall I just start? I will just start. Shall I? Namaskar, everyone.
Okay.
And well, it's a great event for us because this is the first of our month-long Kashmiri festival. So we are the privileged ones. So welcome. I Virinder has already welcomed you all, but you're all welcome to this special event actually. Right, activism. Let me just first of all just give my opinion or my view what I see activism as it is. I think it's a doctrine or it's a practice that emphasizes direct vigorous actions to support any political change, social change, environmental change. So it's a means of achieving an end and goal. And it applies to us very much so because displaced for the last 31 years. And I myself personally and my colleagues, my friends, my people, our APs in the UK have been actively involved in this activism. It's kind of it's something that makes you really carry on with your objective. You have an aim, you have an objective, but you need some kind of push, which is the activism. And how do we use this activism? We can use it individually, we can lobby people individually, we can lobby politicians individually, we can lobby groups of people, or we can as an organization lobby for a cause, which we are doing. We are doing for our homeland, we are doing it for reclaiming our homeland and preserving our heritage. I am very much concerned about our heritage, which includes the temples, the rest of the things we have left behind in the valley. I hope we all can actively carry out this activism to preserve that. And obviously, the main focus is on reclaiming our homeland. And activism can be used in protest marches, street marches, strikes, and of course, most importantly, by social media, that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the rest of it, which is quite an active and quite an important part of activism. Now, I'll just give you, first of all, my favorite kind of event or episode that has happened to me in the last 15, 20 years. I have been involved with this. It's actually happened to me. I think Chandan ji knows all about it. We have here a Baroness in the House of Lords called Baroness Emma Nicholson. She spent a couple of years undertaking a report on Kashmiri Pandits and Kashmiri Muslims. She visited Pakistan, she visited India, visited Jammu and Kashmir, she visited the refugee camps. And obviously, when we knew that Emma Nicholson, Baroness Nicholson, was engaging herself in this project, and I immediately contacted her, and we all kind of started connecting with her. And have I lost? Can you hear me? I think I have lost. What's happened?
We can hear you, Krishna.
You carry on, Krishna ji. We can hear you.
Krishna ji, you are on mute.
No.
Please unmute your mic. Yeah,
So,
please thank you. Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me? So we connected with her, and then once she completed this report after a couple of years, it took 2 years, she visited these places. It was a big research project, and then she had to present it in the European Parliament to get it approved, to get it accepted. And we also quite regularly work with the Indian High Commission here and the Indian Consulate in Birmingham and in Glasgow and in several places, and obviously in London as well. Indian High Commission, they requested me to go as their ambassador to the European Parliament to lobby this report that Emma Nicholson has done on Kashmir. She had criticized Pakistan very heavily, but she had commended India on its democracy, on the treatment of the women, the equal opportunities for women, how it was offering equal opportunities for women, and also she opposed the concept of plebiscite. She said that it was a non-starter because so many things had happened. People had moved away from the valley, and also Pakistan hadn't fulfilled the condition of that Pakistan was supposed to vacate the illegally occupied areas. So she opposed the concept of plebiscite, and also she said that the camps, she visited the camps. She said the camps should be changed into townships. They should have their own mini governments, mini kind of educational system, healthcare system, and little government. They should have their own government. Otherwise, it will be difficult for the people who are living in these camps for many, many years, and then to go back normally and live in with other live in the valley or anywhere else. But wherever they are, they should be now set up as the mini governments and mini sort of townships. So these were the areas, and obviously she had praised Indian government. She had really commended them. Obviously, Indian government, they were very keen that this report should be accepted. So I went to the parliament, the European Parliament, stayed there. It was in Strasbourg, where the head office of the European Parliament is, along with because I work with Hindu Council UK, along with my colleague from Hindu Council UK, two of us went to lobby this report. And the Pakistanis were there, busfuls of Pakistanis came to lobby it, but we were just the two people, myself and my colleague from the Hindu Council UK. But Pakistanis came in, really busloads of Pakistanis arrived there 2 days before the report was to be submitted and accepted. So it was kind of really, I am also really very glad I did that, because it's given me such a lot of happiness that the report got accepted in the end. And I lobbied, and my colleague and we lobbied at least 56 MEPs in those 2 days. We lobbied them, and just the two of us, whereas there were a lot of Pakistanis, a lot of Muslims going from one MP to another, but it was just the two of us. And we lobbied 56 MPs, and in the end, on the day of the submission, this report was submitted, and it was accepted with overwhelming majority. It was really it was celebrated and accepted, and that is my activism. I mean, if you want to achieve something, you may have lots of hardships. You may have so many. We have just two people lobbying all the MEPs, and there were busloads of Muslims also lobbying these MEPs. And so this is an example of my what can be done if you put your mind to it. And this is how we can really make a joint. I'm very glad that GKPD is bringing organizations on board, and community activism together can make a lot of difference. It can bring a lot of change about. So this is very important. Togetherness, unity is very important, which is, I'm so glad that the GKPD is trying to bring people together. I know there are some challenges ahead of them, and they already have seen many challenges, but I am sure we'll overcome those challenges, and we will bring people together to achieve it with our activism together. We can achieve it. And now the future, actually, I am glad, as you mentioned it, Virenderji, I am very positive because of our activism. We have really reached to a stage where Article 370 was abrogated. Believe it or not, I wrote a very strong letter in July 2019 to Prime Minister Modi about this abrogation on behalf of IEKF and Hindu Council UK, because I'm really kind of wearing two hats. So because they insisted that we write a letter to Modi, because we have really done quite a lot of lobbying on this 370 in the parliament, in British parliament. We have had many seminars. Chandan ji will tell you, we all work together. We have had many seminars with MPs, MEPs on this Article 370. I remember one name I recall. We had a diplomat called Shantanu Bhagwat, who was really an expert on this Article 370. He had done a lot of research, and he was always coming to our seminars. We were highlighting this, that the Article 370 should go. It's a hindrance, and it's creating an Islamic state in Jammu and Kashmir. So we lobbied, and we used our activism, and we achieved this end. At least we got this far. We have now, I'm very positive that we will go back. We will reclaim our homeland. Now, I have really, I don't want to stick to one option. What option should be there? As we have one option. I'm a bit really kind of concerned. What is the best way forward for us to go back and settle down with security and with honor? We need quite a lot of research and discussion on that. We need to find a best way forward. We need to have 2 or 3 options or 4 options and choose the best option that we can have, so that we can go back with honor and settle down there. Or we want young people to go there in the valley, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and get the jobs and really flourish there, like we used to do in the past, and then also preserve our roots and our heritage. That's what my aim and object will be for the activism. We are already seeing some developments happening in J&K with this with the change. We have had the domicile bill. We have had the governance is getting much improved now. The corruption is kind of being eradicated, but it's not totally gone. But it is on the way to go. We have these village panchayats have been established very successfully, which means that they have the वो कहते हैं ना कि बागडोर in their hands, so they can address the local issues. We have some initiatives on education and health that have developed quite a lot in the Union Territory. I am always in touch with Ajay Bharti ji, who updates me. There have been a lot of, and there is quite a lot of improvement. Digital initiatives have started. So all this is happening. Now we are really nearly there. The goal is there, but we have reached quite a lot of it. And I am sure one day we will really succeed in achieving the end. Now we have a lot of challenges. Now recently we have got this Gupkar alliance has come up. We've got China on our backs. We have lots of challenges. Challenges are there, and with activism, challenges are there. Like we have a danger of compromising our internet security, our own security. We may be doing our own job, a professional job, where we can be exposed if we, use our data, and our data is not protected. That's one of the drawbacks in this activism. But it offers the opportunities. It has offered opportunities, like it has helped with it has really with some means of activism. We have got rid of slavery. It has helped people to address the workplace discrimination. Dictatorships are being challenged, and these are the opportunities offering us. And our opportunity is to go back and fight for our cause, fight for our roots, fight fight for our land. These are our opportunities, but the challenges we have to face. So these are our challenges, and the future trends will be, I think it's going to be media activism, which is utilizing media communication, publishing news on the website, on creating videos and audio investigations, organizing campaigns on websites and on internet. These will be our future trends, and I think we should also have, our youth is very active now. The youth is taking, as we have got Butts up there. He is going to really update us on that more. I think that should be our future trends. Should be the internet, media activism, and youth. That should be our future trends. Actually, by the way, Butts up. Actually, my father came from a place called Kokonok. Do you know? He didn't live there, but his ancestors came there. You know that place. You're aware of that. So we share.
Yeah, I
You've heard of my father, Pandit Harjila.
yeah. You are talking about Mr.
No,
Harjilal
Harjilal
Judge.
Judge is also, but Harjilal Rana, Pandit Harjilal. Well, he was known as Pandit Harjilal. Yes, he was.
I have heard his
He was.
name.
His job was. He was a revenue officer, but he was. He was also election commissioner in 90s and 1980 84 was. Do we have a commission? Anyway, he is well known in the community. But I'm just sharing this, that he also came from there. His ancestors came there. So on that note, I will stop, Virinder ji, and this is my. I'm quite sure we will achieve one day. We will go back to our roots freely, and we'll achieve that goal. So on that note, I'll stop there, because others have to really. We need to give a chance to other people. So
Thanks a lot, Krishna ji. Thanks a lot. You have covered it very, very nicely and comprehensively. And we are now, I think, already halfway through. So I would request Pooja ji, please pick up two of the topics. And I think you have some personal message also. You can please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Virinder ji. First of all, thank you, the entire crew of Global KP Diaspora, for providing this platform to share leaders' perspective on activism and how it's going to support the communities and the global podiums in a longer way. I will quickly tap onto a few topics, just being mindful of time here. So, what is activism? So activism consists of efforts to promote, impede, direct, or intervene in a social, political, economic reform with a desire to make changes in society towards a perceived greater good. Now, that being said, every individual who has the willingness to make a positive difference in the civil life of our communities and develop the combination of values and motivation in their unique way is an activist. It's your attitude, it's your thought process and willingness to bring hopes in the life of people for the better today and tomorrow. So that is a brief note on the activism. In terms of favorite activism episodes, well, there have been multiple initiatives which have been undertaken over due course of time. One such initiative is human right abuse in Jammu and Kashmir state, which is still an ongoing issue. The abuse ranges from mass killing, enforced disappearances, torture, rape, and sexual abuse to political repressions and suppressions of freedom of speech. On the other hand, continuous movement of raising the awareness and highlighting all the above issues at an international podium has also been a critical uphill battle to build synergies and make an impact and raise the voice at a larger scale. We feel the pain of the victims and hope for the justice. And at the end, truth will prevail. Now, let's quickly tap into the challenges in the present world. I would like to quickly go on to three major challenges. Number one, I would talk about is designing and executing a strategic platform and a robust infrastructure in order to initiate change, and further monitoring its impact is utmost critical. You can't just go in and start curing things overnight. No one has a magic wand. At times, community advancement programs do not reach its intended audience, beats the best intentions of the best educators and the change agents. No matter what you decide and do, it hardly ever reaches the people who need it at the most because they don't have the ability, they don't have the financial means, or the desire to participate in the things that you started. The second challenge has been to get people's attention. And the way to do that is by making things stand out. We are constantly being bombarded by messages from all sides at all the times, and our collective span of attention seems to be decreasing. Today's people attention is a valuable commodity, and the very business model of the global tech giants as well. So attention works by focusing on one thing at the expense of other thing. But it's hard to focus when everybody is asking for your own personal attention on a certain topic. The last challenge I will talk about is lack of effective leadership or enough volunteers to get important tasks done. So these are the three key topmost challenges when we talk about activism and the way we proceed on the different initiatives. Now let's switch the gears to the second part of the question, which is more about opportunities in the present world. So there are a few essential components to enhance the transformative changes in the communities. Number one, join in way that matters. So transformative change in the community requires collective effort to make sure everyone within the organization feels valued and they are adding value. Explain your audience why it is important for them, not just for you. Coalition building, network creation, collaboration, solutions required that all partners feel they are a part of a team is very critical. Number two is organize in a way that balances process with outcomes. Number three, reflect to learn from experience and continue to grow and foster with the entire community. Number four, get the right leaders from diverse talent domains to add creativity and innovative results. Try to build strong, diverse teams based on individual competencies and capabilities without any personal biases. Same set of people may not be the right fit for the different causes. So get the right entities on the board to make a meaningful impact. Knowing the topic is not enough. Having the right capability to execute the entire framework, like Krishna ji earlier mentioned, very, very rightly, we need the right players at the right time to do the right job. Lastly, I would say involve multi-generational leaders to bring in an inclusive environment in order to attain different perspective, to maintain balance of thoughts, and bring creativity and innovation in your action plan. Next was how activism impact your destiny of our community. Well, activism has played a major role in ending slavery, changing dictatorship, protecting workers from exploitation, and protecting the environment, promoting equality for women, opposing racism, and many other important issues. There is evidence that political activism leads to improved psychological well-being. Activism enhances a sense of control over your life and combat helplessness and hopelessness, to improve our sense of mattering in the community and support others in their quest. Digital destiny where we talk about participation and support of geographically dispersed population and appealing to nationalist factors of shared identity, mutual sympathy, and generating common understanding to attain diaspora support. Future trends. We have seen some positive shift in last couple of years. The one of the shift I would like to point out is youth activism. Youth have risen to the challenge by speaking up on the behalf of the future generations, leveraging international conferences, and using the power of social media to promote. People wanted to work for projects that share their core values and their ideology. So that's one of the future trends. The last trend I would like to talk about is generation of women activists. So activism in Kashmir has usually seen men at the forefront. Women, who are perhaps the biggest victims of the protracted conflict in the valley, have remained on the sidelines, treated as a passive victim. In recent years, however, there has been a slow and a gradual yet noticeable change as brave young female voices have emerged and raised their voice against the challenges and difficulties that make up the life of people in the valley. These activists have become the voice of people trying to do their best to bring out social political changes in the valley. After generations, women are no longer passive victims, but agent of change. To conclude, as we, with any activism, persuading people to change and listen to your views will always be an uphill battle. But one thing that all activists have demonstrated is an unyielding desire for a better society. So may this spark of hope continue to live on, and may action speaks louder than word. Thank you so much. Virinder ji, back to you, please.
Thanks a lot, Pooja ji. Just raised the bar of the discussion, and now things are getting hot for Mr. Ramavatar ji. Pooja ji, I think what you have said, I will sum it up in a few words. And activism, definition of activism for me is challenging the status quo. From the moment I get up in the morning till I sleep in the night, it becomes a part of the DNA of an activist to challenge the status quo. If something can be changed, something can be improved, the activist will go after it.
Absolutely.
And you have given us a very good insight and thoughtful advice on future trends and challenges, especially. I really like the way you have captured it. So thank you very much. I would request Ram Avatar ji, who is a veteran activist. So Ram Avatar ji, please.
Sarne chu meon gulzi gandit namaskar. First of all, my thanks to GKPD and in particular Mr. Virinder Kaul ji, who has given me opportunity to speak up about activism. For me, activism, maybe some people will bear me out if they will not be, I may not be reached to their formula of activism. Actually, Kashmiri Panditas, I am talking about Kashmiri Panditas activism only. Business, I have a limited area for my activism, that is Jammu and Kashmir, and in particular for my community people only. But activism should be, for me, activism is simply one karma. I am doing some karma in terms of activism, and mostly people believe activism for their self projections and for their interests, to join politics and to be active in some particular areas where they will grow up with their own personality. And I don't accept that as a activism. Activism means a spiritual activism. I believe in spiritual activism only, what we can do for others. Like, activism means we should not have ego. We should be always ready to work jointly. That is true activism. And unity, since our community is always losing important part of unity, That means we don't believe in pure activism. We are doing activism, but that activism is mostly, I have seen, we are became victim of that activism always. Whosoever has lead us at different forums, ultimately they are projecting their own selves only. They don't care for uh, pure activism, how we can contribute for others. These are some examples. Okay, we have a personal, we have so many people in our community, they are at very high levels, and they have taken good positions from some political parties and from some different areas as well, but that has not been effective to our community, and they have not contributed to that level to our community which we are lacking. And it is true, we were I was listening very carefully to Madam Krishna, Bhan ji and Pooja ji as well. They define what is practically activism, but I think practical contribution on ground and then write-ups on activism is two different things for me. Whatever bit we do every day, and that we can count at any at any level. We have challenges in our community, as mostly we have always become victim of, see, people, our enemies are always looking for the opportunity to thrash our community, to throw us away from our roots. But we have become victim of activism of our own people as well. I have so many examples which I want to quote here, which may not be justice with them at this fora. So I think activism have challenges in coming time, but I pray my God, activism for me is a passion. It is a passion. I think the ultimate real activism for a person like me is when I'll get connected my community to our lost roots and our land of origin. ये जन सान्यो जिठव सान्यो our जो हमारे ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स है या पेरेंट्स है, they have given lot of sacrifices in our this reshwar. So once we get that reshwar back, that is the pure activism of contribution. I remember my father today, he had been 25 times Amarnath Yatra before migration, but was when he had been uprooted from the Kashmir Valley, he could not manage to go even once, because he said, "Okay, I now hate this land. I want to go." That you can imagine 30 years before, at a very young age, when he started to go Shri Amarnath Ji Yatra, and people were saying him, "You don't go there, Pandit Ji, you will not come back." That was very difficult at that point of time to go Amarnath Ji Yatra. Now today it is very easy to go. You have every facilities over there. But my father, he lost that opportunity again to go. Even my mother, when she left Kashmir Valley, I request her also, "Mom, you come with me. I want to take you to your birthplace." But she was not in a position to go. And at a very early stage, I lost my father as well as my mother because of this shock, that they are uprooted. They don't have their roots. They don't have that reshwar. They don't have that their own house, which they have built up by their own hard work and everything. So that is emotional part for everyone and for me as well. But still, we are always selfish. We are not helping each others the way other communities are helping each others. And we are enjoying this. Some people are practically enjoying this migration, that we are migrated, we are from different places in the world. But I think we should not even sleep till we will not go back to our motherland, where my next generation should again connect to their roots. And this is what I have to say for activism. And I have so many future challenges and future submissions as well to all of you and the people who are listening me. It is a right time for us that we should take the advantage of this JKPD for platform. अभी भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. It is time for us. Let us request each other to get united and down your egos. Ultimately sarni leadership ladder ki gonet zut kus bui ban leader. The match sarni request everyone that is not our priority who will be the number one. Our priority should be always how we can get back to our Rishwar. So whether it is through Pooja ji, through me, through Krishna ji, or through Virinder ji, or through Dr. Chandan ji, it hardly cares. The main important thing is that we should be down to earth always. We should contribute as per our capacity and our limitations, and it is not that much difficult. We cannot get back to our motherland. And today we have a person like Narendra Modi ji at the helm of affairs. It is the right opportunity for all of us to claim. And one more, my request is अस छुन पूरे पट हावन यमन सारनी आसन कि अस तह वर इनकम्प्लीट अस वनकन अख इंप्रेशन दिवान पूरे वर्ल्डस मज प्रेजेंट डिस्पेंसेशनस कि हाँ ये तुम वनु ती पोज. We should always fight for our rights, whosoever is there. They are our own people. We trust them really. But as on date, I'm on ground. I am looking that they have not done much what they should have been done for our community, because it is now 8th year of their shasan. And recently you are seeing some package, some 1997 employments are again being advertised. And आज मैं relief commissioner office गया था in this connection. उतना वहां पे इतना रश था लोगों का, इतनी भीड़ थी, वहां अंदर जाने को जगह नहीं थी. Everybody was at relief commissioner office just to get this domicile, and then वो जो एक migration certificate होता है, then and only they can apply at different posts. तो इसमें हालांकि ज्यादातर अच्छे पोस्ट नहीं निकले हैं, but we have a community section of community तिम छन तीज ज्यादा या सही educated किया कि तिम हेकन यम बदलन पोस्टन खतर apply करित. So it is a right opportunity for them to apply and be absorbed in the state government. कि once you are in a system, then and only you can claim कि बुछुस येतुक रोजन वोल. अगर इस out of system सारी गच्छो, systems मंज रोजन खतर छु सारी खुद जरूरी कि हम पहले state government के payroll पे आए, then we can take community together for 60 or 58 years of our this time. तो इसलिए वहां पे इतना रश लोगों का था. People are ready to go Kashmir as on date. They want to serve there in terms of survival. We should not stop them. We should rather protect them. We should fight for their comforts in Kashmir Valley. We have boys and girls in Kashmir Valley. They don't have their own place to stay. They are staying in at a very far-flung areas on rented accommodation. And our government in Delhi and in Jammu and Kashmir, they could not manage small accommodation for them. Their children, they don't have good education institutions near to their camps where they can get proper education. So many things we are lacking. And still we are optimistic about Narendra Modi ji that he will, whatever he has made commitment with our community, he will fulfill them. कि आजकल जम्मू कश्मीर मंज लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर, he is there is huge cry that they have given 2000 more jobs to Kashmiri Pandits. But I want to bring in your notes also, these are all old sanctioned jobs. Nothing is new there. These jobs were sanctioned in 2008 by then government, and even they could not manage to fulfill these vacancies for last 10-12 years. It is already too late. People are getting overaged, and the overaged section of our community who are between the age of 40 up to 55 to 60, this age group has actually hit by this our migration. They are the first victims of this displacement. We should take care of them also. They are also ready to go Kashmir Valley. I have a very big list with me, almost 15,000 youths. They are ready to go Kashmir Valley, even as under present circumstances, once they will be offered good rehabilitation and good employment survival in Kashmir Valley. So at the end of the time, I'm requesting, in particular, Virinder Kaulji. He always encouraged me. He is the person, although we have not met physically as on date, but through social media, he is always taking care of the every activist like me. And I have seen this gentleman. He has no ego at all. He is requesting small to top everyone. Let us join hands together and do something jointly for our community. I salute your activism. This is the real activism. Otherwise, I have seen from my very, because J.N. Cole Sahab Papaji, he is my guru in this social work. And since then, I have never seen any senior leaders or senior organizations. They also invite a person like me. You are our future, and then you have to work for next future. We have never been given chance. Even Krishna Banji, I know her. She visited so many times India. I requested her many times, please do come to us, see what we are doing on ground, guide us. And I expect whosoever is visiting Jammu and Kashmir or Vaishno Mata region, kindly do have visit us, see on ground what how much work we are doing here as well. And we are grateful to our people who are in different countries. They are taking care of people like me. And this GKPD is the only organization, they haven't given me also chance to be part and parcel of this platform. So I thought we have still scope to be united. And you have listened to me. If I have commit any mistake, I hope you will forgive me for that. I'm doing my karma, and I assure you I will continue do whatever bit we are doing, and we will not let our community down by any means. Whosoever is there, we will fight, and we will keep fighting together. And the day will definitely come. We will be all in our motherland. We will be all in our Reshwar, and that will be the real activism. Namaskar.
Thank you, Ramavdarji. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. आप हमेशा सीधी बात करते हैं and ये दिल को छू जाती है. And thank you for giving us your very, very practical insight. You are actually handling so many things in Jammu and leading such a busy life. Really appreciate you. And I think GKPD is very, very lucky to have you with us. Very lucky. It is not the other way around that you are lucky. And we need leaders like you, activists like you, to take over the challenges, because we are all getting on in our age. But you are the future of GKPD and our activism. I am confident with your energy and your passion, you will be one of those who will take us back to Kashmir. Thank you very much. And now I will request Dr. Chandan Kotwal. He has been listening very patiently, and I deliberately kept you in the last so that you can give us some overall insight. Dr. Saab, please.
I salute all my colleagues, all my community brothers and sisters who are present here in the panel, and the larger community group. My pranams to everybody. And I would like to thank GKPD for giving me this opportunity to be present on this panel. And Virinder ji, in particular, for all the activism that you have shown, you stand very tall in our groups, in all discussions, and you have a lot of energy and for your time. I will not talk a lot, actually. I think I've been listening with rapt attention to what Krishna ji, Pooja ji, and Ramavtar ji have said, and I salute all of them. I am a doctor by profession. I work as a psychiatrist. However, to me, activism is what each member of our community is doing in his daily life or her daily life. As long as they remember about their community's interests. Any action which has this thought at its core is worth commendable. It's really commendable, and it's activism according to me. Uh, of course, that doesn't belittle the effect and the role played by a lot of our senior or very experienced activists who have done a lot of groundwork. Like I would say, in the UK, Krishna ji stands out, and I have learned a lot from her, and it has helped me, and she has also supported me quite a lot in doing some work here. I would say community work, and we have, and I've seen her doing tremendous amount of work and with full of energy. So for me, actually, now what has happened is I see. I will not go into what has happened in the past. We all know what happened in the 1990s with the exodus and exile of our community, and all the brutal pain and displacement of displacement that took place. All of us are privy and we know about it. So I will not go into the details of that. It is all well documented and everybody knows. Now, for me, there is a ray of hope now coming into the present. Even though, as Ram Avtarji said, that people are spread out in the world in different places, and I completely agree with him. And it is very touching what he has said, because personally, myself, I live in outside India, but my heart is very much with Kashmir. I'm thousands of miles away, but every day when I wake up in the morning or I go to bed, I think of my motherland. And I am always thinking of going back and actually meeting Ram Avtarji, working with the people in the grassroots. They are the people who are actually the foot soldiers. And I am very much looking forward to meeting them. Unfortunately, because of coronavirus and the COVID situation, there are a lot of limitations on traveling. However, with social media, we are keeping in touch on different groups, and we'll continue to build a narrative. Of course, it is like we have been given a very big opportunity by Government of India, and I cannot say that enough and thank them enough for what Government of India has done by abrogation of Article 370 and also by the passing the domicile bill. Actually, for me, these changes are landmark changes. As a Kashmiri Pandit who never had his voice heard, I think I will not be wrong in saying that. We have always been at the receiving end in history. History bears sort of witness to that. But now I'm very much hopeful with the changes on the ground, with the Union Territory status of Jammu and Kashmir, and Lieutenant Governor being there. I'm very hopeful that it is going to, not only for me as a Kashmiri Pandit, but also for the entire Kashmiri residents of Kashmir, including Muslims, who consider themselves to be patriotic and who are patriotic. For them also, it brings a lot of hope, so that corruption is ruled out. The political mismanagement has been brought under control. That was, I think, the root cause, as well as the terrorism which was perpetrated by Pakistan, state of Pakistan, I would say, to be precise. So, I'm very hopeful, and I want to sort of all of us to, as a community, to work together, have a plan, a roadmap to return plan. And it is a big task in front of us. It is not an easy task. There are a lot of complexities in it, of many different factors. The Kashmir situation is a very complex situation, according to me. It has got many factors. However, I'm hopeful and positive that a start has been made for reasons I've just given you. And we can definitely work together to, first of all, must say that we need to have a place of safety in the valley for all of us to return to. It cannot be business as usual, because we have seen the result of that, and we have seen how easily perhaps 5% or 10% of people can ruin the peace and prosperity and completely lead a community to leave the valley, like the Kashmiri Pandits had to leave, our community had to leave, just because of a few misguided youth. I don't want this to ever happen again, and I'm hopeful that good sense will prevail. So what we need to do, we need to live together with peace and harmony, and we bear whatever has happened. Unfortunately, it has happened. We have to remember that history should always be remembered, but we should learn lessons from it, and we should start building our future again in the valley. I'm very hopeful with businesses, with job creation, work with the government of India plan, at the same time have our own, strengthen our community. I think that's absolutely vital. Work with grassroots levels like Ram Avtarji and other members who are working at the grassroots. Build them up, make them strong, and because the foot soldiers, in a sense, they are the people who are leading the return and resettlement for Kashmiri Pandits back into the valley with full security, with full dignity, and with a proper plan in place. That is how we have to move, so that we can reintegrate into the valley infrastructure and live in the ancestral lands back as we used to live before 1990s. And this time, much more smartly, much more intelligently and cohesively. And GKPD, once again, I would like to conclude by thanking GKPD for providing this wonderful historical opportunity, I would say. I don't think, although my memory serves me right, that there have been wonderful activists in our community throughout, perhaps a long time, even before the exodus, before independence, and after independence of India, for that matter, partition for that matter. However, I respect all of them, their sacrifices they have made, and no matter what faith, what community they are from, we respect them. However, GKPD has made a revolutionary sort of history by bringing all Kashmiri Pandits on a global platform. So I would like to conclude with that, and thank you very much once again. Back to you, Virinder ji.
Chandan, thanks a lot. Very insightful ideas. Basically, the roadmap to return is at the heart of every Kashmiri Pandit's family, and as well as in his heart. Everybody is, I think, drafting his own roadmap, how he would like to go back, how he would like the community to go back. As today I can tell you, there is one professor of urban planning somewhere. He's preparing the roadmap, and after this meeting, I have to discuss with him, because he said, there is so much passion. And I feel that our community, our race, is thousands of years old. It has endured. There is something which I think God has blessed us. We are not going away anywhere, sir. We are here. And it is our rightful place. We have to go back. We will be back. I have no doubt about it. And now you see the passion and the determination in this 5 people group, how passionate we are, and everybody has spoken. The bottom line was, we need to return back to our home, return back. So there can be no better motivation than this. Krishna ji, I would ask you to do a wrap up of the entire discussion, and if you could give a message to GKPD on behalf of this panel.
First of all, I know Virinder ji is going to do it properly at the end of this, but I also would like to thank you all for your wonderful contribution in this discussion. Unquestionably, we all have learned a great deal from this discussion, which we all had one message to give, but we still learned quite a lot from our colleagues today. And we all have reaffirmed that have to go back to our homeland. That has come out of this discussion. And we all have also endorsed that the existence of GKPD is a blessing. They have brought everybody together, and they have their task is really has been wonderful in getting us together and working for the same goal and end. They are using the same, using our activity for the same end. Uh, our task is not finished. We have quite a lot of ground to cover, but at the same time, as Chandan said, we have to really support the workers, actual workers who are on the ground, the grassroots workers. We have to support them. We have to do whatever we can to support their work, because we are not there. We are away from our country, but we need to support them as much as we can. Now, I would like to recap quickly on what everybody has said. Everybody's message was that we need to use our activism to, to really take the opportunity, make the most of the opportunity we have been presented this time with the abrogation of Article 370 and Modi ji being our Prime Minister. We need to use this opportunity to work on giving back to our homeland. And I have quite a lot. I have quite a lot from Pooja ji, but just to quickly recap what she said, she just described her interpretation of activism, and also she gave us three four things that she said we need to really find the right leaders. We need to develop our women who are really quite for our strength as well. And there are certain other things, but I don't want to take too much time. I'll put that on. Hopefully, I have got everything that
Yes,
Pooja
yes.
has said. But the basic message is that we have to really work on certain things to make ourselves heard, to make we need to get right leaders. We need to get people's attention, which is a hard job. I have been there and I'm still there. I know that's very, very hard, Pooja ji. So these are the things Pooja ji said. I'm just recapping. And of course, Virinder also has given us the same message that we need. He's a doer. I know, I can see that. And I haven't known him very long, but I can see he's a doer. He brings everybody together. Thank you, Virinder ji, for all your efforts. And he also has the same message for us that we need to work towards our goal, which is going back to our homeland. And R.K. Bhat, you have really said you are a spiritual activist. You believe in spiritualism and karma. Obviously, we should really, we should all follow you on that. And you work for the community, and he has. Well, there is quite a lot R.K. Bhatji is doing, and we really need to support him. I'm sorry, I missed you when I came to India, and unfortunately, I was supposed to go in March 2020, which I couldn't go because of the COVID-19, this pandemic. This time I'm in India, which I hope will be very soon, once the restrictions are lifted and safe to travel. I will come and visit you there, and I look forward to that. That's my promise. And now, Chandanji, I know what Chandanji's message is. Chandanji's message, I know he's very passionate. I have known him for a long time now. He is very passionate. He has worked. He works. He gives his best for his community. He has done so much here, and he's still doing it. And we might be, Chandanji and I and a few more people might be starting something soon. I haven't told him yet, but I have got something in the pipeline. Might be doing that soon. So, but he's always there. He's always supporting the community. He was, as I said, I don't know if he came when I was mentioning, I have said that you manage the educational program for the 35 children for many years from here, and visited the camps. I mentioned that. And he's always there, and I know how passionate and how keen he is to go back. And we all are, and we all should really support him, and hopefully everybody's dream comes true. Um, so our cause is there, and we have made some progress, but there is still a great deal of work to be done. I thank you again.
Thank you, Krishna ji and Pooja ji. I think, and Ram Avatar ji, Dr. Chandan. I wish I had more time so that we could listen more to you. I think this the messages that have come out from here, these should be properly articulated, very relevant and very insightful discussions. I really thank you, and we will meet again. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
to all. Namaskar. Namaskar.